what constitutes Vaishnava aparad? Many devotees say that we should be very careful not criticize any devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that whoever chants the holy name of Krishna even once is a Vaishnava and worshipable. So we should be better remain silent and not speak anything in spite of our knowing what is right and what is wrong. So Prabhupada said that if somebody is wrong and you point out, there's nothing wrong in saying that. To call a thief, there's nothing wrong. But if someone is not a thief and you call him a thief, then that is wrong. So it doesn't mean that to not commit Vaishnava aparad, if the person is doing something wrong, and if you don't correct the person, then you are actually not doing justice. You're not trying to help the person to wake him up from understanding his mistakes. Doesn't mean that we don't commit Vaishnava aparad means we keep quiet, is it? No. So we should be intelligent enough to point out and say, no, this is not right according to Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. Then you cannot be implicated. Just like now, these gurus are going off track, and if we don't point out, then how are we going to be securing ourselves on the right track with Prabhupada? Yes? Yes or none? So we have to learn. We have to learn, and somebody had to say. If nobody says, and nobody is teaching the others, like Prabhupada, he taught us so many things. He said this Swami is bogus, that Swami is not correct because he said this, he did this, he's doing this. So we learn who is right, who is wrong. That's why we are consulting Shastra, Sadhu and Guru to teach us to go on the right track firmly. But if we don't, and we simply pretend that we don't say anything, everybody is all right, to be in the first class platform. First class devotee think like that anyway. He thinks that everybody is better than me, everybody is right, I am wrong. So if we try to imitate that first class platform, then we will fall down. Because we are not in that position. So we should be very careful to act. So if you are not sure, then you take direction from some other devotees who are more advanced to give you the direction, but not concoct some kind of a nonsense and say that no, I won't say anything, it's Vaishnava aparad. In fact, if you don't correct, you are committing Vaishnava aparad because you're not teaching him the right thing. Is it not? Yes?
Prabhuji, I have one question, and who is having that authority to correct somebody? Means can anyone can correct anybody? Is it
Based
so?
on sadhu shastra guru, I said, Yes?
Means even a neophyte can correct a senior devotee. Is it so?
No, that etiquette is not correct. If the neophyte want to correct the senior devotee, then that will create a lot of trouble. So the best way is for him to seek advice from another senior devotee and ask him for advice to tell the other person. You understand? There's an etiquette. You follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
If you go direct and confront, you're going to be, you're going to have some problems. So best to tell another senior devotee who can actually talk to the other person. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that we have to learn how to do this kind of things, All right. So, but the basis is this, that one should learn how to act according to Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. It's not on mental speculation. Are you following?
Prabhuji, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Vaishnava is worshipable, and anyone who chants God's name even once, he is a Vaishnava. So what about this?
So it says here, so in this verse, You want to read from here the Vishwanath Chakravarti remarks? Hello? Anyone can read from here, please?
Srila Vishwanath
Hare
Chakravarti
Krishna
Thakur.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks in this connection that whatever is offered to the spiritual master should be offered with love and affection, not for the material adoration.
Carry on.
Not for the material adoration. Huh. Should I
Yes.
continue, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Similarly, it is recommended that one associate with devotee, but there must be some discrimination. Actually, a sadhu, a saintly person, must be saintly in his behavior. Sadbhavna Sadachar. Unless one adheres to the standard behavior, one's position as a sadhu, a saintly person, is not complete. Therefore, a Vaishnava sadhu must completely adhere to the standard behavior. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that a Vaishnava, a person initiated into the Vaishnav cult, should be offered the respect befitting a Vaishnav, which means that he should be offered service and prayers. However, one should not associate with him if he is not a fit person with whom to associate. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Is that understood? Hello?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So if he's not practicing properly, then, we should avoid him. Huh? Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what is the other question? If everything is going to be as per karma, what role does God play in this cycle? So, in this question, you have to understand that Krishna is saying in the verse, Sarva dharma parityaja mam ekam sarnam vijaham tvam sarve papibhyo mokshashmi ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. I will rid you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. So karma is not higher than God. If you surrender to Krishna, he will take away all your karma. You understand? We are suffering because of karma. So by taking shelter of God, then you by just chanting one name of God, you can remove so many millions of lifetimes of karma that you can even commit in the future or in the past. You have committed, and in the future what you can commit will just get wiped out. So how powerful God is with his name and him non-different. So karma is because of our sinful action and can be rid of by God himself. That's why God, Krishna says, he says this verse, Bhagavad Gita, I will rid you of all sinful reaction. So that abandon all varieties of religion, say, I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. That means God is more powerful than sin. Otherwise, how he can deliver you? So many places he says, you want to read this? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah,
May I?
please.
My dear Uddhava, just as a blazing fire turns firewood into ashes, similarly, devotion unto me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees.
Huh?
Hare Krishna.
So we try to understand sinful activities. Karma is not, is not what we say, it is permanent. It can be removed only by God, no? So here, can you read this?
Simply by chanting one holy name of Hari, a sinful man can counteract the reactions to more sins than he is able to commit.
So karma
Correct.
can be wiped out just by one name of God, no? Next verse.
If one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in a helpless condition or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life depart. Just as when a lion roars, all the small animals flee in fear.
So just like chanting one name of God, even in a helpless condition, without desire, even without desiring to so, all reactions of sinful life will depart. See? So karma is not permanent, not eternal. Karma is because what we have committed. But if we surrender to the Lord, then all this karma can be removed. Yes? Can you read the next one?
By once chanting the holy name of the Lord, which consists of the two syllables Hari, one guarantees his path of liberation. Kanda Purana. May I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
These are some of the reasons why the Vishnu Dutas objected to the Yamadutas taking Azamila to the court of Yamaraja. Hare Krishna.
So you see how all sinful activities are removed just by taking shelter of the Lord. So how can karma be permanent? But because we don't know, that's why we are implicated, no? Yes?
Prabhu.
Here. Can you read this also? Please.
There are different stages of dormant reactions to sinful activities to be observed in a sinful life. Sinful reactions may be just waiting to take effect. Phalonmukha. Reactions may be still further dormant, kuta, or the reactions may be in a seed-like state, bija. In any case, all types of sinful reactions are vanquished one after another if a person engages in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
All right, is that clear? Yes. How to avoid the negative thoughts coming in towards other Vaishnava ISKCON leaders that they are not following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Is that a Vaishnava Prad? This I already explained this now. If someone is doing bad, is a thief, and you call him a thief, there's nothing wrong. Right? And if they have all disobeyed Prabhupada, and Prabhupada say anyone who disobey me is useless, then we say they're useless. What's wrong with that? Yes? So you try to understand that. That's not Vaishnava Prad. One person asked me a question. According to Bhagavad Gita, one goes to a heavenly planet to enjoy his piety, and then once exhausted, come back to middle or lower planetary system. But we do see some commit further karma in the heavenly planet and get further entanglement. How to understand this? Heaven is just a place to enjoy our pious result and come back, or do we perform further karma there? So to answer this question, it is explained that if in the heavenly planet, if you commit, if usually you come back after exhausting your pious activity, but if you do some devotional service there, you can get promoted to the next planet and higher planet and higher planet, and until you go up to the planet of Lord Brahma and wait there. And when Lord Brahma leaves the world, you go with him to the spiritual world. So that way you also can go. So, but if you go there and commit sinful activities, then your whatever piety you have also will be exhausted more, and you will come back here quicker. So it goes both ways. So if you do some piety, devotional service there, then you go to the next higher planet, next higher. But you do some nonsense, your good balance credit will finish also quickly. Yes.
Yes, true. But going above is for mostly it is for those who are meditating on the Paramatma only. They do like that. No, they go above, right? Gradually.
No, anyone who does some service to Krishna, God, they get promoted. That's why they prefer to come here, because here, if you think of Krishna, you go straight to the spiritual world. Understand? There, you get to go one step higher and like that until you go to Brahma Loka and stay there until when Brahma departs to the spiritual world, then you accompany him to the spiritual world.
Okay.
You understand? So this process is very long. That's why they don't want to go that way. They want to come here. You know the verse, right? Bhagavatam 19, 5, 19, 20 something there. You understand? I can show you the verse. 5:19.
गाई थी फ्लूकोनाजोल मैंने तो बस आधी गोली खाई थी फ्लूकोनाजोल बोल दियो.
Can you mute the person?
Yes.
You can do my phone. So in this verse, someone want to read?
Yes, I'll read. A short life in the land of Bharatavarsha is preferable to the life achieved in Brahmaloka for millions and billions of years, because even if one is elevated to Brahmaloka, he must return to repeated birth and death. Although life in Bharatavarsha in a lower planetary system is very short, one who lives there can elevate himself to the full Krishna consciousness and achieve the highest perfection. Even in this short life, by fully surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, thus one attains Vaikuntha Loka, where there is neither anxiety nor repeated birth in the material body.
Yes.
Yeah, that is clear, Prabhu. That is clear, Prabhu. No, but actually, see, what I'm asking is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that after we finish this life, to enjoy our pious activities, we go there. So enjoyment is just enjoyment. No, why we have to do some further? So we also can perform further entanglement there, just like do karma there, and so
the demigods are praying here in the same chapter. They're saying that although we are demigods and taken birth in heavenly planet, because we are so much in enjoyment that we have almost forgotten the Lord,
Yes.
Understand? Can see here this verse, one verse before. See, this is the position of the demigods there.
Yes, true.
Can you read this?
The demigod continue. After performing the very difficult tasks of executing Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, undergoing austerities, observing vows, and giving charity, we have achieved this position as inhabitants of heavenly planets. But what is the value of this achievement? Here, we are certainly very engaged in material sense gratification, and therefore, we can hardly remember the lotus feet of the Lord Narayana. Indeed, because of our excessive sense gratification, we have almost forgotten his lotus feet.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is what happens in the heavenly planet there. There's also rivalry, you know. It's not that everything rosy, you know. So when you are rivaling also, you commit offenses also, no? Yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually there is one verse, right? I don't remember exactly. Like when we are taken to the spiritual world, we'll be shown all the heavenly planets. But if we get attracted, then we'll be dropped down in the heavenly planet.
Yeah. Can you read this?
One cannot find permanent happiness even on the heavenly planets, which one can attain in the next life by ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with his equals and envy of those superior to him. And since one's residence in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious fruitive activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of their heavenly life. Thus, they resemble kings who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens and or constantly harassed by enemy kings, and who therefore never attain actual happiness. Yes, bro. Now this is clear. It's 11:20.
Okay.
Bro. Yes, bro. Okay, bro. Thank you.
They are finished. Their pious activity becomes finished, you know, when they do all this nonsense.
Yes, bro.
All right. So the next question. Let's see further commit karma. That's your question, no? Is that? One person asked me why we are partial to Krishna. Why you are talking your way of self-realization is only way. How can reply to such person? Can you ask him to find another way for us? Hmm?
Speculation. Speculation
If-
is this.
Does he have any other way for us? We are quoting what God says, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. He's saying that there's something else. He knows better than Krishna. Can I ask him to tell us what is the other way? Hello? Who is talking here? Who asked this question?
Yes, Prabhu.
So
I'm
you
here.
ask him, please ask him, tell me what is the other way?
Oh, yes.
Huh?
Okay, I already blocked him. I stopped to talking to him. But I asked if I again such persons comes, what should be my reply? That is.
You should reply what I'm asking you. Tell him. You say you know better. Tell me what is the way. Huh?
Okay.
You know better than God, then I should worship you. Why I should worship Krishna?
Okay.
Prabhu, some people do sinful activities in devotional service of Krishna. So how to these people or demon? No. If you do sinful activities, if it is intentionally, then you have to pay for it. You will fall down. But if you do unintentionally, of course, as I read just now the verse, even you do commit mistakes, Krishna overlooks and you get purified very quickly, you know. Krishna said, Chipram Bhavanti Dharmatma. Very quickly he becomes righteous and he attains everlasting peace. But if he takes up the process and commits sinful activities knowingly, then he cannot chant the holy name. And when he cannot chant the holy name, he will fall down. So we have to be careful. So what is this next one? Samane, what is this? Who's Prahlad? What is he saying?
I just he was asking a question. What is the role of God when there is karma? I quoted this. That's it. There was a question, right? What is the role of God when the karma is doing everything, right? So for that I posted this. Not a question.
So what is this birds?
That
Birds
the
in
two
this.
bird. It's from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 22. The two birds analogy, for
Yeah.
Setwa.
What? So what is that? For the
222 purport. It's there.
This is for the bird, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
In all planets, there will be devotional service or spiritual master who guide us to do devotional service. Yes, in every planet, there are some kind of spiritual master to help you. There are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras. That they are Deva Rishis, Deva Rishi. Yeah? So there are planets. In every planet, there are spiritual master to help everybody. In this material world, Prabhu, we are all covered by Maya. So how to see then who is sincere? If one discriminates and find himself higher than anyone, how will he help anyone back to Krishna? Who has the right to justify the devotional service one does? This is done by the spiritual master, by Krishna in the heart, and by the devotees. So by keeping in contact with them, we will be guided properly. Otherwise, we try to listen to our mind and speculate, then we will have difficulty. Then we will like to see, I'm better, you're not better, I know more, you know less, and all kind of thing. This is conditioning because we are thinking we are in the mode of goodness. So this is not a very good position. So in order to avoid this kind of thinking, it's best to stay in the association of devotees who can help us to understand things better and protect us. Because if we stay with our own speculative mind, even we come to the mode of goodness is conditioning. We think we are better than others. So that is not a very good platform. Understand, this is the position of a materialistic devotee. A materialistic devotee is always, examining and checking and always trying to think he's better, others are no good, like this. So that's not a good position. So try to purify that kind of thinking by coming in shelter of Guru and Krishna, because even if you are with Guru and Krishna and devotees, then you are safe, It's explained here in this verse. You want to read that?
Yes, bro.
Please
One
read.
should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord, which process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering.
So this is the purification platform. By associating with devotees, we get purified from all this kind of conditionings. All right, so there's one more question.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Why are so many young children suffering due to evils in this world? They don't even get a chance to do or understand. What is it again? They don't even get a chance to do or understand spiritual bhakti or service. Now you have to understand that young children, they are not taking birth then. They are taking birth owing to their previous life karma. So whatever they go through in this young body is also due to what they have done in previous life. Just now we read that verse, karma is in the seeding stage, in the fruit stage, and like that in different stages. So it will manifest at different time of our life. Sometimes it can manifest in the young stage, sometimes it manifest in other adult stage. So it will come, or it will manifest in next life. So this karma is ongoing for millions of lives we are going through. So you cannot say innocent children suffering. It's all due to our previous life. It's continuing. Right. What is the next? Prabhu, why even when we chant or put our diversion to chanting and reading or hearing, sometimes mind still get diverted. That's also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna also talk about this. Krishna also says here, yato yato nischalati. See, can you read that?
From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
So you see, the mind is nature to wander. Yeah? So we should try to practice until the mind becomes fixed up, no? Correct? So we're not having a easy thing, you know. The mind is very, very difficult to handle. Can you read this?
Whenever the mind being concentrated on the spiritual platform is suddenly deviated from its spiritual position, one should carefully bring it under the control of the self by following the prescribed means. One should never lose sight of the actual goal of mental activities, but rather conquering the life air and senses and utilizing intelligence strengthened by the mode of goodness. One should bring the mind under the control of the self.
So by strengthening their mind by the mode of goodness. So goodness means waking up early, chanting.
An expert horseman desiring to tame the headstrong horse first lets the horse have his way for a moment and then, pulling the reins, gradually places the horse in the desired path. Similarly, the supreme yoga process is that by which one carefully observes the movements and desires of the mind and gradually brings them under full control. Until one's mind is fixed in spiritual satisfaction, one should analytically study the temporary nature of all material objects, whether cosmic, earthly, or atomic. One should constantly observe the process of creation through the natural progressive function and the process of annihilation through the regressive function.
So therefore, we should try to do this with the help of the spiritual master. Correct?
When a person is disgusted with the temporary illusory nature of this world and is thus detached from it, his mind, guided by the instructions of his spiritual master, considers again and again the nature of this world and eventually gives up the false identification with matter.
So you say this is the process, but if you chant Hare Krishna and pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially, then yes, we can easily bring the mind under control. The process is given, no? Trinadapi Sunichena. I read that verse. Where's that verse? Trinadapi Sunichena.
Tarorapi Shaishnuna Manina Manatina.
Yeah.
1731.
Huh? 1731. So this is the process of how to bring the mind. Can you read?
One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respects to others, can easily always chant the holy name of the Lord.
So this is how we can control the mind easily, you know. Yeah. There's another explanation. The tree, the dying tree, doesn't ask anyone for water. If somebody cuts him also, no protest. And the grass is so low. So we should try to follow this verse. Right. So I think we are overshooting our time. I mean, divert in the sense of example, pending house task to be completed. Oh, then that's another thing. You got your service to do, then you take it as some time is used for some service. Come back and do your chanting again. If that service is for Krishna, so there's no loss.
Yes, ma'am.
So just,
2020.
hmm?
That is in another verses like
No,
cut
but
down
her,
tree.
no, but her question is different. No, she has to stop.
Yeah.
Housework. So this is part of our women's, program.
Yeah.
Everybody sometimes have to stop their chanting to do some service. So there's no harm in that, no? If the service is related to Krishna, there's no fault. So you try to adjust yourself, no?
Yes, Guru.
As long as you are doing something for Krishna, there's no loss.
Yeah.
Not that you put your beats away, you are chanting and your mind is going to Timbuktu, then I don't know what to say. Always the case, everyone says, okay, now I'm going to chant and I'm going to control my mind. The moment he starts doing that, even less than a minute, the thing has gone somewhere else already. Yes?
Yeah.
So that is what we are talking about. Okay, then I have to say thank you very much for all of your participation. I very much appreciated your very nice presence, inspiring us with all your wonderful questions. So I hope you liked this session. Do anybody have anything to say?
Very much, Prabhu. We are very much blessed to have you.
Anybody else?
We have 58 people joined to hear you. Yeah.
58, huh? Yes.
And
Who is that?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam, Jai Prabhu. Tarangini saying Dandavad Pranam to you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice class, Prabhu. It was wonderful session. Thank you so much for your
Hare Krishna
kind
Prabhu, thank you Prabhu.
Okay, I guess.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Guru.
Hare Krishna.
All right then. Hare Krishna. Huh? All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All right. Hare Krishna.